Watching News at Prime. Let's get into this now. Gauteng police are investigating a case of murder after a 58-year-old man was found dead at the Zamimpilo informal settlement in Riverlea. Last night, a routine patrol led to a shootout between the members of the South African Police Service and unknown gunmen. It's alleged that the man was caught in the crossfire. Let's speak now to Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala, who was out there in the early hours of this morning. I was watching you this morning, Nqobile, a very sad story, and particularly when you got to speak to the wife and indeed the sister of the deceased. How or what happened? How did he get to be in the vicinity? Because this is someone we understand who's not been sleeping at home, at least for the last couple of days.
So, according to the wife, there was an argument between them, or an altercation, which ended up in a physical fight. As a result, they then kicked him out of the house, in a sense. But as something that was supposed to be walk away, leave me, and not necessarily walk away forever, right? Then this gentleman decided that he's going to go find himself a place in Zamimpilo. It's an informal settlement. It's not far from the Riverlea area where they basically have bought a house. Now, when he got himself in that place, he decided that he's no longer going to go home. So they've been asking him to come back home, and he then went to work. According to his sister, they said he was at work. He walked back home to where he lives now, and that was the last time they heard of him. The people at work say he was here, he left, and the people where he was living say he never arrived. Yeah. And as a result, he was then found in the morning by a passerby who said, oh, there's a body here, and people recognized who it was. And of course, they then called the family, and they had called the police, and then the family was able to come to the scene and see who this gentleman is. We know that he's 58. He was turning 59. His name is Jerome Lotering, and we're told that he has about 2 children who also came on site. Basically a very difficult one for the family. They say he was hardworking. He would never be involved in anything that's criminal related. And the police have also said the same thing, that they don't suspect that he was part of illegal mining.
The police themselves, they were combing the area, or should we say inspecting or patrolling the area. And this is an area that is dealing, or at least struggling, with issues of drug peddling and possibly gangsterism. Why were they being pelted with bottles and stones? Because that's what the police commissioner is also raising issues about, that the manner in which the community has treated the police who are trying to help in the area, it's not acceptable.
So, Kwale, there are 2 parts to this. Now, this is the Riverlea situation, and this is the problem that's long-standing in Riverlea. Now, next to part of Riverlea is this informal settlement, which is also, you'll remember when the SANDF was called in, this is where we started to see the SANDF going into these holes, assisting and trying to get rid of illegal mining. The same community has been struggling with illegal mining for a very long time. But Riverlea is part of the various communities that have been struggling with drug issues. And now you will go back, the video that you speak of where you could see the police being pelted with stones. Now, most of that was happening in an area in Westbury. Now, in that area specifically, I'm told by the people that are in that area that basically what had happened is that the police, when that incident happened, they had been brought in, or they had come into the community. When they came to the community, they basically were doing a search and stop, right? Now, the problem is that earlier on in the morning, they had called in to say a 7-year-old boy or so, if I'm correct, but a very young boy had been shot during a shooting that took place there. But then they asked the police to come and assist. and the police didn't come on time. Now they come in their own time, they're stopping and searching people. They basically, and you'll see in most of these communities, Riverlea, Westbury, Eldorado Park, the same issue prevails where they'll always say the police are collecting money within the space. And so the worrying thing was that they felt that they were coming into the community to collect. Yeah. And when that incident took place, where you saw the stone throwing, just before that, they were stopping and searching a young woman. Yeah. And then the community lost it. But to come back to what's happening in Riverlea, the community, even in the informal settlement, said the same thing. They said the police were collecting money. They said they were unhappy with the police visibility. In fact, they even called out Langlaagte police station, saying that it's not far from them. It's barely a kilometer away from the informal settlement. And they said they have not been dealing precisely with the crimes. In fact, they've said they're accessory to the crime, and this is the major issue. And they said this in front of the police. We spoke to Masondo, who also said the community must then bring evidence so that they can investigate them. But communities are tired of some of the corrupt police officers. And of course, it's not all of them, but there are some that are obviously aggravating and getting this reaction from the community.
Okay, all right. Nqobile Madlala, thank you very much for putting us in the picture.